And so we're gonna talk tonight about how to build your business credit, starting with you. I'm gonna show you some techniques, some tricks. I'm gonna give you some cheat codes and show you how to make some maneuvers that can probably shift you into gear a lot quicker, and also give you some regulations and things that you should know, because I believe the tax system works for you. I believe the credit system works for you. It all works for us when we just know the rules. I think the hardest thing in life is just realizing that you can't get around the rules. The more and more you try to bypass stuff and get around stuff, the more you end up right back in the same place, or later on it catches up with you. I built my businesses, all of them, to where I wanted to start right to finish right. One thing you don't want to do in business is you don't want to backtrack or keep backtracking, because those are guys that end up in these cycles to where they seem like they're ahead, then they end up going backwards. Seem like they're ahead and they go backwards. But that's something that I found out is only because they have not looked at the end of it to see how to finish. Because like I said, most people can start, but the key is, can you finish what you start? And that's what I'm about. I'm about the results, baby. It's all about not telling me what you're gonna do, but actually doing what you say you're gonna do and sticking to what you say. That is very, very important. I'm gonna have to do a class on my 4 agreements. I'm gonna do that for another day. But today, I wanna really dive into, come on, let's get this business credit built, because some of you don't even realize it, but you can start building your business credit now. You know, I know they told you, we gotta wait this and do that and do this, but that's not always the case. I'm gonna show you tonight how to, because for me personally, I'm actually gonna make this even more personal, because I'm gonna be very transparent on tonight and let you know what happened to me and how I came from that position to where I'm at today. You know, a lot of times we only see people once they get to where they're going, or at least while they're on their way, you see them building momentum, and people often ask me, well, how are you doing this, that? And it seems like I'm doing a lot, but I'm really not in my mind. In my mind, I'm not even doing enough. I still got more work to do. This one guy told me, he said, man, it's like you running in circles around me. I'm just trying to start. And I'm like, no, it's not. The problem is not you doing this stuff, because I don't believe anybody's really intricate, really lazy, especially in business. You're not lazy, just maybe not focused and maybe not consistent enough to see what's going to actually happen when things start rolling in the right direction. Because one thing about business, you don't know what little tweak or something is going to catapult you and take you to the next level. So tonight, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up and dive into our lesson. So tonight, we're gonna be dealing with building business credit. So if you got a pen pad, you got an ink, whatever you gotta do, grab it. I'm gonna hit you with some stuff. I'm gonna pull up some stuff that you can actually see how to do it, what to do. I'm gonna give you the steps 1, 2, and 3 and how to build and perfect. Because remember, to build your business credit, you must take care of your personal credit first. Now, some of you, your credit score is pretty decent, but I'm going to show you what that credit score you need to be Gucci, to where you can pretty much be sign and drive. And once you get to sign and drive, well, I bought 4 trucks in the last, 8 months, 9 months. And so I bought those 4 trucks on my business credit. None of that is on my personal. Matter of fact, if you were to pull up my personal credit, none of that shows on my business, on my personal credit. Only because I built myself. But the funny thing is, I'm going to show you how to build it without having to build it. Now, I've never done Dun & Bradstreet. I've never done all these other things people tell you to do. I've never done that stuff. But yet I've had we call it SBA loan for over 100,000. Never built a business plan, never built all this stuff we're talking about. Some of this stuff, it sounds good, and you spend time on stuff that really is not producing the results. The key is find out what they want, how to get it to them, and make it work for you. So I'm gonna show you that stuff tonight, okay? So let's dive into it. But of course, housekeeping. I want you to take notes. Like I said, pull those pad and pens out if you can. If you're driving or rolling, then hey, totally get it. Hopefully you'll get this a little later. I am starting to really, I need to upload some files, but I'm gonna actually be, and I'm developing it now to where only those that are attached to this group will be able to view those in our group Facebook page, and also our group YouTube page. And so we're shifting a little bit because I really want to make sure that you guys get full value for everything that we're trying to do for you and get you in the right direction. All right. Next thing is, I'm asking if you can put your cameras on. Like I see Angie's beautiful face. What's up, Miss Angie? What's going on? Good to see you in the house. Glad you're here. And those of you, now, if you got your bandana on or you're looking crazy, then I understand. But if you can and you're available, yeah, just put those cameras on. I'd love to see your face. Ask questions. I want you to ask questions on the night. Now, if I say something while I'm doing my dialogue or my monologue, I want you to make sure you put that in chat. Matter of fact, do me a favor, open my chat up. Let me know name business, and your favorite hobby. Name business, favorite hobby. Go ahead and put that in the chat real quick. Let's make sure my chat is working. Also, next thing is only unmute when called upon. So once you are in, I want you to unmute yourself only when you're called upon, which will be in a few moments. I'm actually going to start here, but I do have a lot of information I'm going to give to you in a short period of time. But hang on with me and let's see if we can get it together. But definitely, if you have questions along the way, put it in chat or write it down. And at the end, we're going to discuss it and go through it, okay? All right, this week's wins. Real quick, guys, I want to hear about your wins. I don't care how small, how minute. Here's the reason why. Because most of you focus on your I want to call them learning lessons. I'm not big into losses anymore. I thought about that. I said, do we really take losses? And I thought about it, so we really don't. More so just learning lessons. And then once you learn, the key is hopefully not repeating the same lesson again, okay? But I want you to take a moment and look at what is a win you got this week, no matter how minute, how small with your business, because the key is momentum. I want you to build momentum with your business, but build it upon your wins and not your learning lessons. Let's say that. All right, real quick, since Diana, I see your beautiful, not Diana, since I see Angie's beautiful face, Angie, give me a win. I don't care how small it is. I want to hear something about a win from last week.
Okay, I actually am helping a friend develop like a business of her own, who is someone who actually helps me all the time. So it's a win because it's another stream of income that I can start creating. And also it's something that I can mesh my own business into. So it's kind of like a double win for me there. And we are setting up to do something in the middle of September for this, and we have a meeting coming up this weekend, so I'm a little excited about it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, sounds like you're just starting to help, and that's when you know you're doing good in your business, and when you can start helping somebody else, and then you can start working together. Collaborations are huge, because that way you can do more together than you ever could do by yourself. Because remember, you might be in business by yourself, but the key is you don't want to be just by yourself. You want some help. All right, so good win, Angie. I like that. All right, who else is gonna win out there? Unmute yourself and give us that win real quick.
I got one.
All right, go for it.
Since we're talking about credit, I finally got myself in the 700s. So I'm super excited about that.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's amazing. That's something that now you definitely want to celebrate, especially depending on where you've been at. It's a good thing to celebrate the 700
Yes.
They come. Now, which one is that on? Which credit bureau?
That one is Experian.
Perfect.
I think my TransUnion one is right at, well, it's $698. So it's pretty close. Experian and Equifax are the highest ones.
Beautiful. Well, Sally, you turned that corner. I've been working on this for a while. So big win, big win, big win. Great job. Thank you for sharing. Celebrate that. That's huge, especially because I know you've been working on this for a little while to get that there. So good job, good job, good job. Good job, good job. It's a song my niece has been teaching me anyway. It's another story. All right, let's get into it. So event spotlight. Normally I do a business spotlight, but tonight I want to do an event spotlight. Now, before you start wondering what it is, let me tell you, at some point in life, you got to start asking yourself, am I mentally in a place to where I can move forward? Because in this game that we're in of business, if mentally you're not attached or good, then it shows in your business. I always go from the physical, mental, spiritual. So now, depending on where you're at, you want to make sure that those 3 areas are intact. If those areas are intact, then now you can move forward. Now, most of you guys, you take physical vacations or natural vacations to where you just go, have a fun blast, whatever you do what you do. Excellent. But when's the last time you took a spiritual retreat, a spiritual getaway, to where now you get to a place to where you can actually start taking a moment to tap into your spirit man, okay? So me and my wife, we're actually putting on with my church a men's and women's retreat on next week. It's gonna be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I wanna invite you personally to come out and be a part. Now, some of you can't stay a couple days because of your work schedule, but the classes will be going on Thursday at 7 p.m. all day Friday. We'll have sessions, breaks, things of that nature. And then on Saturday morning, we're gonna have a session. I wanna invite you, if you can. We have 2 options. One, we actually have the church reserved where you can actually sleep in the church, bring your sleeping bag, toiletries, all that good stuff. And you can hang out with some of the people that are gonna be staying at the church, or you can actually rent a room over at the hotel across the street, and you can actually now be a part of that. Now, this is not a marriage retreat. Let me tell you what we're looking at. We did a retreat that before the men would go on a retreat, come back all excited, and the women would be like, what the heck are you talking about? Then the women would go on a retreat, men would come back, they would come back, tell the men would be like, what the heck are you talking about? So now, if you are married, it's a good thing, but if you're not married, that's okay. It's actually geared to be men on one side, women on one side, and then we do come together for a service. So I said all that to say, if you can clear your schedule, I'm going to invite you to come up to Mount Charleston, hang out with us. Some things, guys, want to do things, but some things are things you just got to do. And right now, if you know that spiritually you're not where you want to be, I'm going to challenge you to get this booster shot before the end of the year. All right. Right now, we have between 50 and 70 people that are already going. The good news is I've already covered my budget. So really, I didn't have to bring this up. But I wanted you guys to get a special invitation from me, because I know spiritually, if you can get locked in, mentally, you'll get locked in. And then I believe that things will start shifting in the right direction for you. So if that's you and you're interested, shoot me a text. I'll shoot you the information. You can sign up. And like I said, you don't have to stay the whole 3 days. You can actually just come up for a day, come up for a class. I can shoot you the schedule. But I want you to see if you can jump in, get in somewhere, fit in, because I believe your spiritual man is just as important as everything else you're doing. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to jump off that. So we're going to talk about tonight, building your credit. All right, you guys ready? Let's dive in. Let's tap in. So there are 3 credit bureaus. I want to bring this to forefront because sometimes people assume that people know this stuff. Not everybody does. Number one thing is there's things that you need to know about these 3 bureaus. One is they are not connected at any shape, form. They don't share information. So that means that what you see on TransUnion is totally different than what you might see on Experian. What you see on Experian would be totally different than what you see on Equifax. And the key being is that means that if you have things that are wrong on your credit report, or maybe things that you might have that could be suspect, you can challenge those things, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, how to dispute and validate the stuff that you have on your credit, because they're not sharing information. And there's ways that you can go in and dispute that information and get it cleared from your credit report within 30 days. I'm actually going to show you the letter and how to do that here in a few moments. Now, where you need to go first is the annualcreditreport.com. And that's a free site. Most of you guys know about it, but some of you might not, because I don't ever want to assume. I want to pull up the right site, though, because sometimes people go to those ghetto sites and they don't go to the right site. So this is actually the official annual credit report form. And the cool thing about this is you can actually request all 3 credit bureaus. Now, some of you're working with like Credit Karma and these different places. That's cool, but they still don't have all your information. And so with this place, annualcreditreport.com, the government actually had to form this to give you access to your credit report for free once a year. So what this will do is link you to all 3 bureaus, and they'll actually connect you to where now you can actually pull up those reports. And then I'm going to show you how to go through and dispute those things. I'm going to walk through some stuff with you to hopefully engage you, because your credit score is important for this next run. You know, I know some of you are like, well, I'm trying to make this money. Ain't working. You know, you need to worry about credit score, because right now you could be working harder because you don't have the credit to leverage and get things to move things to the next level. Okay, like my credit and I'll tell you about it here in a minute, but my credit was so good to where I only put down, I think it was 10 to 15% to get those trucks. And like I said, it wasn't even on my personal it's on my business credit. And like I said, I don't know what my DUNS number is. I don't know what my Dun and Bradstreet. I don't know none of that crap. They pretty much, a lot of these companies now, they go off of your personal credit. And if they pull that and see that that's about 740 or better, you are Gucci. And they will literally say, okay, what do we need to do to get your business? And so that's something I want to show you guys, because some of you think that you need an 800 and all this. No, you don't need all that. Okay, I'm going to show you what you need to get the results. Forget all the other stuff. Okay, the fluff we're not going to talk about tonight. I'm going to talk about getting to where you want to be when it comes to your credit. Okay, because once you get you right, now you can start building that business credit. All right, so those are the 3 credit bureaus, annualcreditreport.com. Go there. If you haven't done it, do it. Okay, now only thing about annualcreditreport.com, they're not going to give you your credit scores. That's not what you're after. You're actually after seeing what's on your credit. Even your name, it could be misspelled. They can be using your AKA name. You know, they might call you Lil Pookie, and the Lil Pookie might be showing up on your credit report, and your name is Ralph. I need you to make sure that they get rid of Lil Pookie, because Lil Pookie might have some stuff on his name that don't even belong to you, or maybe it does belong to you, but you can dispute it because it's showing up in Lil Pookie's name and not yours. So I'm going to show you how to work that too. Because one thing we want to do is, once you learn the system, work within the system, and the system becomes your friend. The problem is most people try to work around the system, when really if you just work within the system, it'll do you good. Okay. Now that's where we at. Okay. So the main credit problems are, of course, loss of job, change of job. A lot of guys dealt with this in COVID. COVID changed the game for a lot of people to where they were actually unable to pay their bills. Illness, injury. Most people are one medical emergency away from being in massive debt. Okay, family members dying. You know, for me personally, you die, you got no insurance, you get burnt up. That's just the way that works. I have no mercy. If you don't take care of your stuff in life, I'm definitely not taking care of that stuff for you in death. So you better have your stuff together, fooling around with me. Okay, because it's important. You know, it's something where if you're not careful, it can put you in a bind. Divorce, of course, you know, life happens, new beginnings, those things can change you. They can shift you a little bit, okay? Poor money management. This is most of the crux of it. You're spending more than you're making. Dun, da, da, newsflash. If you got more money in your closet than you got in your bank account, you got some poor money issues. If you got stilettos and red bottoms in your closet and you got $5 in your bank account, you ought to slap yourself, because that means that you got some poor money management skills. At some point, you have to ask yourself, what's more important? Right now, I'm trying to be like Warren Buffett. I refuse right now to get a new car until I absolutely have to. I'm gonna ride my little cars, and the cool thing is, if I wanted to, I can go write a check and get another car if I wanted to. But that's not a priority for me right now. Some of you, the biggest thing is you're trying to get there before you get there. That's why some of you, you're getting this big overhead before. Like I stayed in my little, like some of you guys have come to my office and you see 6,000 square feet. I was literally in a 1,000 square feet office and waited until I was so to the point I couldn't stand it no more and had enough money to move into the 6,000 square foot office. But I didn't try to move into the 6,000 square foot office because of what I thought was coming. I did it based upon what I knew I was doing at that time. And I maximized that 1,000. So some people were crazy. They're like, man, how you go from 1,000 square feet to 6,000 square feet? I was actually in the 6,000 square feet probably about 2 years. I should have been there, but I didn't jump into it because I didn't want to overdo what I was trying to accomplish, because I was too busy saving money. I'm one of those guys. I save to invest. Write that down. Save to invest. Stop saving to spend. Most of you know how to save for vacations. Save for your kids' college, save for furniture. Forget that. You are saving to consume. Stop being a consumer and consuming everything, and start getting your money in the bank so you can invest it when the opportunity presents itself. Okay? So with that being said, poor money management, big problem. Why a lot of people credit is jacked up. They just overextend themselves, and that happens. Bankruptcy, judgment, student loans, all those things could be a factor. I want to use a personal note. I told you I'd be transparent tonight. Back in 2010, I had $3.2 million in homes. That's right, I said it, $3.2 million in homes. My mortgages at that time were about $50,000 per month. You guys know what kind of happened in 2008, 2009. So during that period, I got slapped around. And in that slap around, I had mortgage companies that literally were suing me because I couldn't pay the mortgage because my tenants, the market dropped, it was crazy. So we had to recover. And so what I'm showing you is what I did. I'm not showing you what I heard, not showing you what I think, I'm showing you what I did. My credit score at that point dropped to 500. Yeah, I said it, 500. It was down there, okay? We couldn't buy a stick of gum. It was just not good. But we started digging in, developed a plan, and knew that it would take 2 years to get out of that rut that we were in. And we actually kept going, kept going, kept going. I'm gonna show you some things that I did personally that brought me out of that thing a lot quicker, okay? So be careful. And so those of you that have bankruptcies, judgments, crazy stuff going on, there is hope for you, okay? It's important that you realize that life happens, but when life happens, it doesn't mean that you have to get beat down by life continuously. It means that you take the hit, get up, get out, and then you get something. And before you know it, you end up, I mean, I look at it now post bankruptcy, multiple companies, 6,000 square feet, blah, 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 investing every month. In other words, things are rolling along only because I stopped, saw the problem, worked towards a solution, and stayed focused on what I was doing. A lot of guys, they get through these situations and they just make it worse. I made a decision that from that point, I was going up from there, okay? Because to be honest, I was at my lowest point. That was the worst thing to me in life that could have happened. But it was one of those things that was a strong learning lesson for me. So I don't believe I took a loss. I believe I learned some powerful stuff. One, don't buy real estate, refi, buy more real estate. Instead of doing that, buy real estate, sell, buy more real estate. That's just a tidbit for some of you guys because you never know what the market's going to do. Okay? Some of you are holding on to properties that you need to get rid of. Stop trying to hold on to it. Right now, some people are house rich and money poor. That don't make no good sense. Anyway, we'll talk about that on another day, but I wanted to hit that for you. Here are the components for your FICO score, okay? And it's 35% payment history. That means that your payment history, if you're more than 30 days late, huge. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this in a minute, how to even look at your late and maybe even get your lates removed and using the process, the system, okay? Amounts owed, your utilization rate. In other words, that's 30% of your credit score. These are all weights of what happens. 15% of it is linked to credit history. So how long you have credit is important, okay? Types of credit and use. That goes from revolving or just regular loans, okay? Depending on, revolving credit is crazy because that's like your credit card. So if your credit card balances are too high, that'll affect your credit more so than a home loan or say a car loan or something like that, okay? Only because those credit cards are ones that are pretty much, you keep adding to, flipping, all that good stuff. You gotta be careful with those too. Like right now, I've learned to use mine for points. And so I charge everything on my credit card, I pay it off, and I get all the points. And like me and my wife are going to the Dominican Republic. And I think just about 60% of that trip was paid for by my points. But that takes discipline. Some of you, I'm gonna teach you how to have discipline to benefit and roll like the big dogs, okay? But we'll talk about that another time too. New credit, inquiries, new accounts, those ding your credit. That's 10% of your weight in your credit that you actually have there. So in other words, just one late 30 days can jack you up and drop your credit score almost 100 points, okay? You have amounts owed, you gotta be careful because if you have a credit card, say the credit card balance is 500, you wanna keep that around about 20 to 25% of what the actual limit is. So say you got 500, well, just easy numbers, $1,000 credit card, then you don't wanna have more than $250 in that card at one time. And if you do have it, make sure you pay it off before the cycle for your credit, okay? Now I look at my credit and I look at my money every single day. Now some of you are like, well, why you do that? Because when you got something to lose, you pay attention. Some of you, when you don't have nothing to lose, it's like, well, I'll get to it. Forget that. You know, I look at, okay, I'm gonna help you out. I look at my money every day and I tell myself, it's not enough money. I don't care how much it is. And that gets me up out the bed and out the door to go make it happen some more. If you live like you don't have it, you'll chase it more. But if you live like, I'm good, then some of you get a little lazy. So for me to stay hungry, I keep myself mentally in a place that I don't got nothing yet. I'm still working to get it, okay? So those percentages, those weights are heavy, okay? We'll talk about this a little bit more and how to get rid of some of that stuff when you do mess up. Score ranges. So the credit score can range from 300 to 850, okay? Now some people are like, I want to get me an 850, whatever. If you get you a 740 and above, you are Gucci. You heard it from me here. So if you can get a 740 and above, you are in like Flint. You are pretty much become sign and drive material, okay? Now, back to the credit bureaus, remember, because they don't connect or talk, every bank uses a different credit bureau. So your bank, like I think Chase, I think they use, not Experian, but the other one, Equifax. I think they use Equifax. Now, I also believe that, what's the name of that company? Navy Federal uses another one. So in other words, every bank is different. So sometimes if you've applied for a loan, depending on the bank and which one they use, that could be why you're not getting approved, because they're pulling the low credit score that you have for that, whatever that bureau is. So say your low score is with Experian. If they pull it from Experian, then obviously they're going to decline the loan. That's why mortgage companies have to go by your middle score, because the 3 scores that you have. I don't know if you guys ever thought about that. Why are the 3 scores totally different? Because they don't connect. They don't talk to each other. And so that means that it gives you an opportunity, once again, to dispute things, because usually they have the account numbers wrong. They have the billing wrong. They have all that stuff wrong. And so now you can go in, which I'm going to show you here in a minute, how to go in and dispute those things and get them off your credit report, especially if they're negative things that need to be removed, okay? Building your credit. If you don't have credit or you're reestablishing your credit, you want to get a secure credit card, number 1. Now, there's 2 types of credit cards. There's secure and unsecure. Now, unsecure is based upon your credit score, okay? And secure is pretty much to where you take your moolah, your dollars, you give it to the bank, and the bank gives you a credit card, okay? So pretty much the bank uses your money, and if you keep a balance, they will charge you interest on your money. Most banks do secure credit cards, West Star, Wells Fargo, a couple of them, whatever ones. Every bank is different. I know Capital One has them. So we can go to Capital One and they'll actually set you up with a prepaid, a secure credit card. Make sure it's a secure credit card, not one of those prepaid cards. Make sure it's a secure credit card, because that's what actually reports to your credit bureau, okay? Next thing is, a lot of people don't know about credit builder loans. They have these at different banks, different places. It just depends. Matter of fact, when you get a chance to Google credit builder loan, and it actually will come up with a couple of different companies. I know Capital One is one of them. Capital One is pretty much the easiest place you can get credit from for some reason. That and American Express, I'm finding out, at least from my experience so far. Those are 2 places I can send people and they're gonna get credit no matter what, okay? The next way that you build your credit is through authorized user. Now, the only thing about being an authorized user in an account, make sure it's someone that has a good credit card. I'm not talking a Jack Lake credit card. I'm talking one that's a good credit card with some longevity, high amount, to where now you can actually use it, and not you use it, and not even they use it, but now you actually get to the point to where that's sitting and building your credit because of the authorized user, okay? And the next thing is Experian Boost. Now, Experian is the only one that I know of. I looked at the other 2, again, just to make sure, but Experian Boost will allow you, like your regular bills, your utilities, things that you pay on the normal, even your rent, all that can go and be added to your credit report, and now they can help boost your credit score, okay? But that's only through Experian Boost. So what you'll do is you'd actually build your Experian report, which could be good, because that could hopefully drag up some of the other scores to where they don't look so bad. Or maybe you go to a company that's using Experian. Experian is really, really good. If you have not went to Experian and set your account up, do so tonight. Don't even wait. Do it tonight, okay? That way you stay abreast of what's going on with your credit. Most problems that happen in your credit, they happen and you don't see your credit, and so it's there, and then you got to go through and make all these corrections to do it. I recommend, like I said, I watch mine every day. I just believe that, when it's important to you, you keep your eyes on it. repairing your credit. Now, this is gonna be good because I'm gonna show you how to dispute, validate. When you're looking at repairing your credit, you gotta pay down your credit balances. So some of you got credit cards that say the balance might be 500, but your limit's only like 750. You gotta pay that down in order to increase your credit score. Sometimes it's just time. It has to marinate a little while. So some stuff that you do now, it might have to marinate 60 days, 90 days in order for it to go up. You also always want to have two lines because remember with the credit utilization, they kind of like to see you with a loan and a credit card, or maybe two credit cards. Now they can be two secure cards, but as long as there's two lines of credit, they normally want to see that, and especially when you're trying to buy a house. They want to see at least two good lines of credit, okay? Online dispute, you can actually go and dispute your accounts directly through annualcreditreport.com. I do not recommend it. Here's why. Because once you do it online, it's not reversible in most cases. So that means that you can't go back and challenge it again if they verify it online. Now, if you send a letter, then now you can, if you say you send a letter, they decline it or say they ain't da-da-da, you can send another letter with more information. You can send another letter, send another letter. So in other words, you can actually keep trying to get it off your report. And this is important because some of the credit bureaus don't have time to check it. And remember, by law, they only have 30 days. Now, here's the kicker, guys, though. You can't keep submitting a letter for the same dispute because every time you resubmit a letter, your 30-day clock starts again. So some of you, that's why you've been running into these issues because you keep trying to get rid of the debt, but you have to wait the 30 days. Once the 30 days is up, they don't give you that it's validated, then you can request for it to be removed, okay? It's actually really a simple process, but it's not an easy process, okay? You do have to do it by certified mail with return receipt. In other words, you wanna make sure you have a copy of the date that you sent it, and that way now you start the clock from that 30-day period, okay? Now, when it comes to the letter, hold on one second, I'm gonna pull up a sample letter. This is actually the letter I pulled from the website for the FTC to show you exactly the wording that needs to be on there. Now, I can absolutely email you this. Just shoot me an email and I'll actually email this letter over to you. But it's a sample letter with everything that you need on it. So on here, you have to have, of course, your address, your information, the credit reporting agency, whichever one you're disputing. It even goes in here and lets you know all the information. So look at somebody and say, fill in the blanks. Now you will have to type it yourself. That's the way that works. But the cool thing is the template is already there. Only thing you have to do is fill it out and make it happen. Now, some of you, now if this were me, this is a business. I just don't have the time to do it. But because it's time consuming. But the cool thing is it's really easy. It just takes time, okay? So this is the actual letter. If you go through here, you'll see all the stuff that you need, okay? The way most people blow this is they don't send in identifying information about yourself. And so what happens is they'll kick it back or it'll take longer to process because you don't have all the information. That's another thing is if you submit it and say that 30-day clock comes around, but you didn't submit all the documents that they needed, then they can kick it back, okay? So let me show you something real quick. Hopefully, let's go back here. So with this, hold on, you dispute or verification of debt in writing. Okay, so you calling them, cussing them out is not gonna do nothing, okay? Nothing. And some of y'all, you get on the phone, blah, 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 whoop, 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 and all that's good, but they ain't even hearing you, okay? Because some of y'all just, I don't know what you be thinking, but when you're operating on this next level, you can't operate ghetto. Like I said, work within the guidelines. You work within the guidelines, they work. But if you go outside the guideline, I'm gonna call them and give them a piece of my mind. For what? It's not gonna change until you submit the writing in the letter, okay? So here's what you need, guys. Write this down. To dispute or do a verification of debt. And here's the difference, guys. Some of this stuff is yours. So you wanna make them verify the interest that you're paying for the debt that's shown. And then some of this stuff you wanna outright just dispute and say, look, that ain't mine at all, okay? Because the good news is if you go for either or and they can't prove it, then it can be removed. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Now, here's what you're gonna need though, a copy of the credit report. So that's why you gotta go to annualcreditreport.com. Next thing, you're gonna need a copy of the letter I just showed you with all the information completely filled out. Then you're gonna need a copy of your driver's license, a utility bill with your same address that's showing on your credit report or your driver's license, and your social security card. Now, they won't ask you for this information, but from experience, that's what got kicked back. And I didn't even know until I had to talk with one of the ladies, and they were like, oh, well, you do know you have to submit this verifying information. Duh. Think about it. You can't just pull out somebody's credit report, send it in and say you won't change it. You got to verify that the information is actually yours. Okay? So get those things in, and instead of being Boquisha and trying to call and cuss folk out, I need you to be Becky. Some of y'all will get that when you a little later in the day. But with that being said, you got to do it the right way, then you'll get the right results. Okay? All right. So you cannot bypass this to get your credit right. You can try to do, I'm gonna do it. Forget that. This is what you do to fix your credit. Okay? Without this, yeah, good luck. You know, and then also, if you talk to people that say, I can remove your bankruptcy and judgments and all that stuff, they lying. Some of that stuff you cannot remove from your credit report. And if they do remove it, it's jackleg. And I don't deal with jackleg. I found out, well, I'm sorry, that's a South Carolina term. Jackleg to me means doing stuff the wrong way. Okay? I truly believe that that stuff comes back to bite you. So I get it. Some people do it. Go ahead with your bad self. I work within the lines, and sometimes even the gray lines, but nothing that's gonna put me in handcuffs. I got soft hands. I can't do it. I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life. Now, Angie might be about that life. You know, she kind of got a little thug in her, but I'm not about that life, man. I can't be in the big house. So with that being said, just do it the right way. Late payments, credit dings, late payment, big ding, 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 ding. But you can fix it. There's a thing that you can do is write a letter to your creditor. And once again, a letter. Now you can call them, but you still need to write a letter, because once you write a letter to any credit reporting agency, they are obligated to respond to your letter. Okay, write that down. They are obligated to respond to your letter. Okay, they cannot just take your information and say, "I'll forget them." Now, if you call, they can say, "Oh yeah, whatever." That's when you call and you say, "I talked to somebody and they told me blah blah blah." Yeah, whatever. But if you write a letter, it's a game changer. Anybody seen White Chicks? If you've seen White Chicks, raise your hand up. Okay. Now, with White Chicks, remember that part they said, oh, I'm going to write a letter. No, don't write the letter. Don't write the letter. Because once you write a letter, that means they have to respond. Any government agency has to respond to those letters, okay? Which is the way it works. Late payment. So you write that letter. Now, it's not guaranteed they'll get rid of it, but it will put you in a position that they could get rid of it. And if you do it the right way, it could actually work. I've seen it work a couple of times with my clients. Charge-offs, balance sold, and hey, check this out, guys. Here's how the system works. Say you got a debt and with a bank, they charge it off. But what they do is they actually charge it off so that that debt that they had with you can become a tax deduction for them. And they can sell it as a tax deduction for the full amount. And then the collection company, and check this out, did you know that collection companies are not really monitored? You know, when collection company call you, say, look, there's a collection company. If you don't pay that money, I'm gonna kill your dog, kick your mom in the face, and talk about your dog. They give you all these threats and what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do it. They can't do none of that. They have no authorization to do anything other than just pretty much threaten you. That's it. That's all they can do is threaten you, okay? Because it's already on your report. There's nothing they can do. Okay, so when it comes to those charge-offs, it's crazy because they will sell it to the collection agency for pennies on the dollar. When I say pennies on the dollar, I mean pennies on the dollar. Okay, now some of you are so smart, you'll call them and say, hey, let me pay off that collection account. Let me get it for half price. Let me get it for 25%. And that sounds good to you. Only bad thing is by that time, it might have already been calculated to you. Of course, it was already calculated to your credit report. So now what you just did was reestablish the time frame on it. And so now it took 7 years for it to fall off. Once you do the collection company thing is going to take another 7 years to fall off, and it shows as a ding on your credit report. Now, the only reason and way that you want to do and pay off a collection account is if you request and demand a deletion letter. That's the only way you want to pay off a credit thing. And also, do me a favor, some of you that have some issues with your credit, get a little account that's separate from your main account and use that as a leverage, because you don't want to give them your main account information, because remember, if you got other debts out there, they can get that stuff too. Okay, so you want to give them a dummy account, put the money in there just to pay them off, and then once you pay them off, you can use that account just for your other, maybe, things that you're doing with your collection accounts, but don't use it and mix it with your personal to where your main money is at. Okay, but make sure they send you a letter of deletion. So a paid off letter, not good enough, because it still shows in your credit, but you want a letter of deletion. That way now it comes off your credit. Okay. Also with collection accounts, the great thing about, once again, remember the three reportings, they don't talk. So you can actually dispute it written, saying with Experian, the account number is this. With this, the account number is this. I need to verify that this account is my account and the total amount due. Once you submit that, they have 30 days to prove it. If they don't prove it in 30 days, they have to, by law, delete it. Okay? You have to make sure that once you, and the good thing is that my sample letter, if you email me, I'll send it to you. It actually gives all the information. And that way, the only thing you're doing is fill in the blank, or you're just retyping the letter, however you want to do it. Don't matter. Okay? If it was me and I was looking for some spare change, man, I'd be the best deletion letter writing person in the world. But that's just me. Okay? But I just don't have the time. All right. Collection accounts, I just talked about that. Payoff only with letter of deletion. If it's not a letter of deletion, do not pay it off, because it's going to affect your credit either way. Okay? And so make sure you get that letter of deletion. Inquiries are hard. There's two types of pulls with your credit. There's a soft pull and there's a hard pull. Now, some of you are so smart, you'll call your real estate friend or call your homie that works at a mortgage company and say, hey, pull my credit. That's a hard pull. Once they pull your credit, that means that now that inquiry stays on your report for 2 years. Okay? Soft inquiries, generally, if you go through, like I told you, I check my credit every day, I can check it through my monitoring service, and because it's a soft pull, there's no points that are deducted. Okay? So I can go through Experian, Expiration, TransUnion, and see my credit score and not have any pulls being shown. Matter of fact, the cool thing about it, it updates it for me every month. So every single month, I can see an update on what my credit score is for those different agencies. Right now, banks are doing it. I know Navy Federal does it, Chase does it. You just have to sign up for it. Once you sign up for it, it'll actually show you which bureau they use and what your score is for that bureau. And depending on your bank and depending on what you're doing, just use the companies that use your best score. Ding! Use the companies that use your best score. Why not? Okay? That way you get the best rates. All right? Next thing, I'm gonna move a little quicker, guys. I know my time is getting away from me. Hold on, what my time looking like? My time is getting away from me. Here's the rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I wanted to show you some legal stuff, because once again, guys, if it's there, that means you have the legal right to do this. And it's there. Rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You have to remove it. If they can't verify it in 30 days, it's gotta go. Okay? Gotta go, gotta go. Credit report expiration dates. Okay, just so you guys know, bankruptcies, charge-off accounts, collection accounts, judgments, late payments, all those things stay on your report for 7 years. 7 years. Isn't it funny though, how some of you guys that are spiritual, the number 7 is the number of completion. So in 7 years they complete it, and then in number 8 is all over again, starts all over again. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, with that being said, that means that they give you 7 years to be on your credit report. Now, hard inquiries is 2 years. Now, here's a caveat here. You can dispute a hard inquiry after 60 days. And the reason I say after 60 days, because they're generally not going to do anything within that first 60 days from what I've seen. But after 60 days, you can actually dispute that pull if no credit was given. So in other words, if they don't give you the credit you apply for, then hey, take off that hard inquiry because you didn't give me the credit. And you can dispute it to say that, hey, the credit didn't go through. Or wherever you want to put in there as an example, they have to prove it. And normally most of those companies are not going to have time to prove it, okay? All right, let's move on. opt out of nationwide credit bureaus. Any of you guys that do have good credit or halfway decent credit, you're probably getting blown up by a bunch of mail, Discover, Visa, MasterCard, all those guys. They're blowing you up. Only bad thing about that is that means that everybody else knows what your scores look like, and those can be soft pulls, and they can be easy now, or you can be open for identity theft. Okay, so I recommend that you opt out of nationwide credit bureaus. In other words, make them stop checking your credit. Make them stop doing soft pulls. Make them actually have to know exactly what you got. Okay, I recommend it. It could maybe save you some stuff that could happen later. Okay, you don't have to do it, of course, but just a suggestion. Why does it matter? Major purchases, guys, homes. Some of you right now, you can't do what you need to get done because your credit is raggedy, okay? So you can't keep talking about it and not do something about it. Today is the day that I'm showing you exactly what to do. You just have to put the work in, okay? Remember, I'm results driven. Key being is I'm gonna give you the tools, I'm gonna give you the game plan, I'm gonna give you what needs to be done, but it's gonna be up to you to execute. Now the execution is all on you. I can't make you do anything you don't wanna do, but I can tell you that this will work. I'm a witness. It will work. You can leverage your money with, you can use other people's money to get money as income in your life. Like right now, and I'm using my trucking company again, I bought those trucks. Now I'm leveraging it to where now it gives me income based upon money that somebody else gave me. So out of my pocket, it cost me a few pennies, but long-term, I'll make a whole lot more money than what I spent out of pocket for those trucks. Okay, business credit. This will help you. Once you get a 740, hear me, you can just sign and drive. You know, I get lines of credit just to get lines of credit. You just never know. With COVID hitting, it's good to have a line of credit. Like I have a line of credit with PNC Bank. PNC Bank, they do line of credits for business. Okay, real easy to get. I think I had it within like 7 days. Interest rate was real low too. I think it was like 10%. So credit cards, real easy to get. Now, Capital One, be careful because sometimes they will try to put on your personal, but the cool thing is you can actually submit it and they'll change it, which I had to do too. Okay, and put it on your business. I recommend that you have 2 personal cards and 2 business cards. Okay, that way now you're balanced. Making sure that now you have enough business credit, also enough personal credit to do anything. All right, let's see. I think my wife just jumped on and she's making a whole bunch of noise. What's up, baby boy, girl? You ain't here, are you? I want to lock you out. Okay. Anyway, your car, home insurance, your car, home, and auto insurance can be higher because your credit score is raggedy. Figure that one out. Life insurance. I have people that literally they have to do physicals because their credit score comes up and it shows that they're at risk because they could kill themselves because their credit is so bad. Could you imagine your credit being so bad you want to kill yourself? I'm sorry, I don't make jest of that. But I literally have companies that won't take people with low credit classifier scores. Okay, so that's how important it can be. Business insurance, it can make it more expensive when your credit's jacked up. Rental property, of course. When you go to rent a place now, good Lord, rental rates are crazy. I'm looking at people paying $2,600 to $3,000 for rent. I'm like, good Lord. You know, I got a ghetto property and they're paying $1,250 a month. I'm like, cut it out. And when I say ghetto property, I mean ghetto property. Anyway, don't hate me. Hey, you know, if I'm not gonna make the money, somebody gonna make it. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But anyways, no story. But I mean, you can't even get rental property. I mean, it's crazy how that all works out. So credit is important, okay? Get your kids set up. I set my boys up. By the time they're 18, their credit scores were 750 and higher. Okay, only because I got them I put them as authorized users on one of my cards, and I added a secure card to them when they turn 18. So with those 2 lines of credit, by the time they stepped up my house, they was Gucci. Now what they did after that, that was another story. Okay, I figured 1 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm just throwing it out there. So with that being said, it's a matter of if you can set them up now, don't wait till they get there. I put that prepaid card in there by 13. Teach them about credit now. Teach them how to use a debit card, credit card. Show them how to maneuver to where now they know how to spend money and don't spend money they don't have. Okay? It's important, I believe, if you teach them now, it's easier when they get older. Okay. Matter of fact, if you can, have money moments with your kids. Don't keep telling them we can't afford it. We can't afford it. To me, now you're messing up their head because every time they walk out the house from now on, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. I'm like my niece, she's with me now. And we go into the store and she liked the shoes and she bought them. And she looked at me. She said, "You're not going to ask me how much they are?" I said, "Baby, I wouldn't have brought you here if I couldn't pay for it." Stop putting limitations on your kids by saying we can't afford it. No, it's not in the budget. And then show them what a budget looks like. That way now they can understand it a little bit better, okay? Business owners, this is just a tidbit. I paid my boys, well, the one that went to college, I paid him while he was in college. And of course I got my money back. But anyway, I paid him to establish him as having job history, and also that way he was able to buy his first property right out of college, because I literally paid him from my company. And you can do that with your kids, even at a younger age now. I can have my wife chime in on that a little later, being the enrolled IRS agent, to help you understand how much you can do and when you can do it. But just so you know, it's something that you guys can start doing to help your kids even develop their credit. So once they do start their businesses, they can jump right into business credit, okay? Your credit score, if it's good enough, you won't need all that other crap. I need a business plan. You know what? My business plan was a little PowerPoint presentation. And like I said, I've never dealt with Dun & Bradstreet or whatever that is. I don't know what that is. I don't even care. As long as you keep your credit score high enough, they bypass all that stuff and go right to seeing that you're already responsible with your personal, so they'll extend the business credit a lot quicker. Okay? All right, guys, I went through a lot, but I wanted to make sure you got it all. Hopefully you did. Equifax, here's the phone numbers. Pretty much just, it's better if you know what the onlines are, but you can look those up, just Google it, you'll be all right. Okay? Questions. I know you guys might have a few questions about tonight. Anything I can help you out with, let me know. You guys got some good stuff in my thing. So while I'm going through my chat, real quick, open up the lines, and let's hear if you have any questions or even comments that might be able to help somebody, because I don't know everything. I can only go from my experience personally, but the reason I use my personal experience a lot is because that's what I know. Some of you guys try to get away from what you know. It's like, just talk about what you know. Okay. All right. So any questions there? What you got?
I got a question.
Yes.
Okay, so my question was, is a late payment letter the same as a dispute? Do you need to send the same information for the dispute? Copy of the credit report, copy of driver's license, utility bill, social security card. Excuse my voice.
Now, the good news is you actually can do that as a dispute, but because they do, each credit card company can authorize late payment to be removed on their side. And so you can actually contact the credit card company directly, shoot them a letter, letting them know, oops, made a mistake, blah, 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 tell them the reason, blah, 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 and then ask for a reprieve. And they sometimes, not all the time, will remove it for you. Or you can actually do a dispute letter and go through that process, or you can just call the credit card company directly. Now, if you're looking for a dispute, absolutely you have to do it the way I showed you, with a letter, sending all the information in there. But when it comes to, say you miss 30 days, some people do that, maybe you were on vacation, maybe you were out, blah, blah, blah. I personally have all my stuff in automatic. I just keep it automatic. I don't even play them games. I praise God, I'm at the point now to where all my bills are paid the first of the month. I'm done. I don't even fool around with that stuff no more. To me, they ain't even worth it. Trying to figure it out. I got credits on all my utility bills. I don't know what my utility bills are right now. I don't care. That's low level thoughts. Okay. If you know what they cost every month, just set it up on auto pay. That way it's done. You have to worry about it. Okay. Delshana, you had a question here I want to answer. Then I saw two hands go up. Go ahead and open up myfico.com. Are they reliable? A lot of those, like karma.com, a couple of those other ones, they're not reliable when it comes to a mortgage. Okay, because Experian, if you go to the actual reporting agency, those scores are for that particular agency. Now, also remember there are other credit reporting agencies like LexisNexis, and there's like 2 or 3 other ones. So there are other companies that actually report credit. They're just not as well known as the top three. Okay. So when it comes to these other places like Credit Karma, those are not going to be accurate as it would if you actually went directly to Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion to get those scores. Okay, hope that answers your question.
So
Dr.
my
K?
FICO gives you several different scores. It gives you a mortgage score, a auto score, a credit score. It has the FICO 8 and the FICO 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I mean, and it could be close, but I normally have seen when people tell me what their scores are, and then when I go pull it as a mortgage, it ain't the same.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, it just ain't the same. Yeah, and it might be close, but not all the way always on point. Because remember, any agency that you're using that's not directly linked with the actual credit reporting, then they're getting it secondhand. And then some of them, they can try to pull it directly, but most of them aren't. Well, I'll put it this way. Let's put it to the test when you get a chance. Go to Experian and see what they say versus what they're saying on the other place and see if it's the same. And then that way, if you find out, let me know. Because I mean, it could be different now. But I generally recommend going to the source. And the source always works. And also the source offers monitoring too. And the source is actually free. So you don't have to pay anything to go directly to. I love Experian because of the boost, because you can actually, for guys that are struggling, they can actually add their utilities and stuff in there and boost their credit scores even easier. All right, Dr. K, I saw your hand up with a question.
Okay, hey, hello.
Hey, what's happening?
This is good. This is real good. You know, me and Delshana was actually kind of talking about this today. I sent her, we deaf on this credit thing. We've been doing this for years. But, you know, like you, we watch it like a hawk and check every day. And so today I got a notification that I had 0% credit card usage on tens of thousands of dollars in credit. And, you know, I used to keep my mind at zero because I pay it off every month. But I'd never gotten a notification that it was 0% usage, you know, tens of thousands of dollars worth of credit. So that was like, oh, okay. But the question I wanted to ask you was the sign and drive thing. Yes, that's the way to go. But the question I wanted to ask you was, can you speak to Vantage score as opposed to the FICO score?
Actually, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's another credit reporting agency too. And like I said, there's multiple ones that most times people don't even hear about, like Vantage, LexisNexis. I think there's another one too, and there's another one. But those are ones that some companies use, but they're going to always go back to, in most cases, the top three. And so it just depends. And I guess for me too, also, I'm looking for more of a mortgage perspective. Because, you know,
so I didn't hear anything you said because you froze up as soon as you started answering the question.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. The Vantage score, and like I said, the LexisNexis, and I believe there's a couple different other ones. They're all also credit reporting agencies. It just depends on where you're applying for credit and what they're using. But most of them are going to use the top three. But
the reason why I was asking, because most of the you know, Navy Federal and all those, they use the actual TransUnion, but a lot of them use the Vantage score 3.0. A lot of the banks, a lot of the credit card companies, and that's not actually what FICO uses. So, like you said, there's going to be a difference in the score. So you're thinking you have 750, 800, but then you put the actual FICO and you got 720. You know, so. There's a major difference.
None of them talk. So it's like, yeah. And so I guess I look at it from, and I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead, keep on going.
Oh no, you're good. This you're on my street. Oh, I preach, live, sleep. I took the whole church at several years ago. Delshana, she can tell you, because I took the whole church to I reserved tables at a credit building seminar. I said, I need all of y'all to be there. Because good credit is better than money in some cases.
Yeah, I hate to say it, guys, but it's our digital footprint right now. It's our digital thumbprint. It speaks to, and it's sad that it's that way, but either you can fight it, or once again, you can go with what's going to get you to where you're trying to go to. But yes, just to answer your question, there are multiple reporting agencies. I know because most of my stuff are the houses and the properties and stuff of that nature, we're always going to go by the top 3. And then you got the other, like you said, the banks, depending on the bank. I mean, the funny thing is each bank does it differently. And so that's crazy too. Because matter of fact, now that you mention it, on my Navy Federal, it does say Vantage Score. And it says, I can't remember, I want to say it's TransUnion or one of those, I can't remember. But it gives me that score also. And so it actually gives both scores when I pull up my little thing, it says click on your credit. So I kind of is interesting how that works.
Yeah, I have a Navy Federal account, so I like the way that they, give you the graph of, the whole timeline, I think for the last year of what it was versus what it is now and all that. So it's very convenient, but I mean, it's a snapshot, so you can at least see where you are.
Yeah, and I believe it's important because you don't, like I said, you got to monitor your credit, especially now when you got bad credit, I guess you don't care. And when you broke, I guess you don't care. But once you start doing a little something in life, and I always say, get there before you get there. Don't wait until you get there to figure it out. Do it now. And that way now, when you do get there, you're in position to win. So this stuff is good information. Actually, I taught this class at my home church today. I was so excited. The response was amazing, over at the top. And it was amazing to hear the response and such a blessing. I was the only male teacher at a women's conference, which I thought was such a blessing. But they knew that the information was valuable. And so they said, look, I know it's a women's conference, but we want you to come. And I was very, very blessed and honored to be there. But we had a great time. But with that being said, so many different ways to do it. Biggest key, guys, is stay on top of it. Do not ignore it. Do not do the ostrich in the sand approach. That's what most people do when it comes to things that they don't understand, they don't want to deal with. Then they just say, you know what? And then they'll talk bad about it. I don't kidnap with no credit. Well, amen. I don't kidnap with no money. Normally those are the people that, number one, their credit is jacked up, and number two, they ain't got no money. Ain't that amazing? Ain't that amazing? All right, I know we're going past our time. All right, Robbie, I think your hand is up. Oh, you froze though. Or maybe I froze. All right, any other questions out there, guys? I'm looking through your things real quick. Yes, thank you, Delshana. Yes. It will take you way up. And let's see, Capital One, Mint. Yeah, let me tell you how crazy it is. I mean, like Navy Federal, you just mentioned them. They give me so much love. There's nothing I can't do with Navy Federal. I mean, I can literally, I think I was buying one of my trucks and I was doing something else. And so I needed a quick 29,000 to buy one of the trucks. I submitted, I think within 4 days, 5 days, it was in my account. I mean, that's how they roll. But once again, because your credit score gets over that 740, they just pretty much be writing checks at Navy Federal. Whatever, give him whatever he wants. And so it's a blessing when you get to that point. And I want everyone to get there that's on this team, because once you do get there, it'll make everything else you're doing much easier. All right. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Delshana, thanks for putting those in there. Those are all great sources. Yes.
I got a question real quick.
Go.
Okay, I have a comment. So I put in the chat the good, what did I put? Something about good, credit cards is not extra money, I think. Is that what I put? Yeah, credit cards aren't extra money. So a lot of times people get these credit cards and then they want to go, charge it. Oh, I got all this money on the credit card. It's not extra money.
Hey, that's just like GoFundMe is not life insurance.
Credit cards are used to build your credit, and it's really for emergencies, so if you can't responsibly use your credit cards, you don't need them. It's not where you can go buy, like you said, Gucci and all this kind of stuff. It's not extra money.
Yeah, I think, matter of fact, Robbie saw me today. I had to pull out a credit card from one of my safes because I don't even carry most of the time that stuff on me, you know, now I found Apple Pay. Apple Pay is my friend. But still yet, I don't even carry the cards on me. So the balance, I don't need them, you know, and that's a blessing. But when I do need them, I got them. And the key with this credit thing, guys, is you want it in case you need it. You don't want to have to need it and don't got it. Okay? All right. Now, everybody on this call, I need you to get some real estate. So we're going to work on that. Whoever's on here, just know that I'm working. I got some deals that's coming up. So you need to get yourself in position. I'm telling you, some things are about to jump off, and you need to make sure you're able to make some quick moves. Okay. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys coming on board. All right. Let's go through my last few little things here. I need to slap you around just a little bit. Good conversation tonight around that information. Biggest key is, guys, what's stopping you from actually making these adjustments? I want you to ask yourself the hard question. What's stopping you from doing the things we just talked about? What's stopping you from taking advantage of doing this yourself? If you are busy being broke, you are too busy. Let me say it real strong. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could be one of those, oh, guys, it's going to be okay. No, I'm too busy. You busy being broke? Stop, take time, and make some of these things happen. Prioritize. If you know that you're trying to step your game up and make some things happen, you need more product, you need things. I believe credit is good if you can leverage it to make money. If you can't leverage it to make money, then don't use it. Okay? I'm gonna use it. If I see an opportunity, I'm gonna leverage credit, even though I got money. How about that? I don't even want to touch my money. I want to use somebody else's money. And it just makes good sense. Okay? But you just have to figure out how to do it responsibly and knowing that you're actually doing it for that purpose. Okay? Why do you need a performance coach? Why do you need me? I know some of you guys are kind of figuring it out. Some of you are seeing the value. I know some of you are actually on my coaching program to where we're doing individual coaching with you, which I know that's another level. And so congratulations to you guys that are doing that, because ultimately to get somebody in your ear every week like me is not going to be what we're doing. It's going to be, what did you do? Did you complete the task for this week? These are the things we're trying to accomplish. And I only go off of what you tell me. And so I'm just that person that's going to help you do what you said you was going to do. I'm going to hold you to your word. In other words, you said you was going to do it. So now I'm forcing you to do what you said you was going to do. Okay. Next thing is accountability. It closes the gap between you wanting to do something and you actually doing something. My question is are you interested or are you committed? Are you interested in your financial future? Meaning that it's just like, well, if it happened, cool. If it don't, cool. Or are you actually committed to it? Okay? Ask yourself those hard questions. Don't go it alone, guys. Get help. You know, how can I help you? Of course, you guys know all these things, not me specifically, but my network. I have a huge network, so it works. Value exchange. Now, some of you, I know there's been things going on in your life. I get it. It's the summertime. I get it. But I found out in my life, what's important, you make important. Okay? And then also remember this, and I appreciate some of you guys, I love your integrity. I don't do this for the money. Okay? Just so we're clear. Praise God. If I don't do another one of these classes, I'm good. If I don't help another person on the Zoom, I'm good. And I'm not saying that to brag or be boisterous or any of those things, but I'm doing this because within me, I want to help people. So don't get hung up on the cost. I want you to ask yourself about the value. How much do you value you? Do you value you enough to take care of you in the aspect of being in situations and around people that are going to elevate you? Now, your broke people, they won't require anything of you. That's why they're your broke friends. People that, like me, we play what we call credit card roulette. In other words, when I'm with people, we put our credit cards inside of a hat. We shake it around at dinner, and whoever card gets pulled, we pay for the whole meal. We don't do that. How much you got? You got $5? You got $10? You got some broke friends if you're doing that. Okay? I need you to get out of that mindset. Get to the mindset that when you sit down at the table with whoever you're with, you got this. I need you to get to that point where you get so abundance minded that you want to be a blessing to people. Now, remember this, if you close your hands, then you also close your hands to receive. If you don't say, I want to give, then you're also saying, I don't want to receive. And I do believe that one thing I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you all I got, no matter what. So don't get caught up in this, that, and the other. I'm going to help you regardless as much as I can, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna value those that value me, just so you know. Okay, I'm gonna value those that value me because I want you, because you receive that I give you value, then I want to make sure I take care of you. Is it important? That's what you have to ask yourself. Is tithing important? Those that you that do that. Is you getting your nails and hair done? Is that important? So if you value the things that can help you. All right. And I'm just so happy to be one of those things. I can say boldly, I can help you. Matter of fact, some of you, I really want to get on my individual coaching plan. You need to really invest in yourself. Pay that $1,000, try me out for a month, and I guarantee you your life will never be the same. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Okay. And at some point, I'm gonna get some testimonies of my guys that are doing their individual coaching, and you'll find out. You know, right now I'm doing some great stuff with some high level people, and it's working. But the good thing is this weekly coaching group is good because it's a good start. So $99 per month. Of course, jump in, you get me 4 weeks out of the year. Next week is gonna be a little interesting while I'm here because I do and will be at the retreat. And so I probably will do a pre-recorded message that I will send out to you guys for next Thursday. I am gonna be going to the Dominican Republic, so I'm gonna be a little vacay. But normally, you know, vacay, I take care of you guys. But this spiritual retreat on next week is so important to me that I don't wanna miss a moment of it. And so I'll probably send out a pre-recorded message on next week. Those of you that can make it up with me, come hang out with me. I promise you, you'll have my full attention and we can get through some issues. All right. The name of the theme of it is raised to reign. So it's time to reign in what you know. Individual coaching, some of you, I'm not going to push you, but I'm going to tell you this much. I guarantee you your life will change. Okay. Your income will change. I guarantee it. You know, the key is how bad do you really want it? And are you worth investing in? That's right. Not me. Are you worth investing in? Are you worth the investment to say, you know what? I'm going to do this investment to take my life to the next level. I did it with my coach. I've given thousands and thousands of dollars to my coach. Okay. And my coach costs a lot of money. Okay. Last time I went out in Miami, hung with my coach, it cost me dang near 10 grand. But at 10 grand, I learned how to do apartment buildings, buy them, sell them. It was worth it all day long for what I'm about to do next. So some of you, you haven't placed that value yet of your mind. But anyway, I'm gonna get off it. I love you. I appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Just remember, I want you to be great. Go out there, change the world. You can do it. Matter of fact, you can do all things. All right? Just go out there and make some stuff happen. I love you. Have a great day. Have a great week. Like I said, please pardon me on next week. I'm going to send out a pre-recorded message. I promise it'll be good, but I want to make sure you understand that your spiritual, mental, and physical are so important to me. If you can make it, come hang out with me, come rock with me. Pastor Dr. K is going to be there. Sister Delshana is going to be there. I'm trying to get a few of you other ones to come out. So do not miss. People say, well, I want to be around good people. Here's your opportunity. For $100, you can be around some good people and some people with some money. How about that? And some spiritual wisdom that might be to help you get to the next level. All right, you be blessed. Have a great day. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.